All right, my friends, here we go. This is the second graduation show. Yesterday we did the under 1000s. Today we're doing the 1000 plus. It's a big show ahead of us. I split it into two shows so I could just take my time and go through everybody one by one. Big time at the dojo. We released 3.0. If you haven't checked it out yet, it's pretty amazing. If you haven't checked out our new tactics regime, amazing. I'm hoping to get the YouTube up. I did a YouTube video of that yesterday, hoping to get that up today. And today I did a vid on all the different books that we added to the program. First up today, we have Ricky, who is, I don't know Ricky. Blunderfest, I like that one. So, joined last year, so a year ago to this day, the beginning of 2.0, and there it is. My first greetings with Ricky, at least as far as I know. So we go down, and what you see here is that Ricky has not done much with the Puzzle Rush or the Puzzle Rush Survival, and has not done any mates. So their tactics rating, Ricky's tactics rating, is a combination of these two, which you can see is abysmally low. Now, this is just a little bit me here. I'm gonna stalk him for a second because I'm interested to see like Puzzle Rush. So he's done it a bunch of times, dude. Best of 24 at 5 minutes, which seems like that should be more than what this is saying here, because this is saying that he's got 265. Oh no, now I'm confused. Okay, time out, Kraai. You need to get in here. So what did we say he had? He had a rating of a survival of 35, which should be a rating of 800, and a rating of, a Puzzle Rush of 24, which should be 1000. Oh. So I'm gonna ping the dojo here. So that's very confusing to me. So, because I think it's a problem. I think it's a problem. Shouldn't this player's tactics ratings be much higher? Question mark. What is going on? Oh, excuse me. And I also have to link over here. Good. A little bit of dojo business that Kraai's getting done today. We just launched this, and yeah, something's wrong because this should be much higher. And when I saw it that it was so low, I was like, oh, something's wrong. Okay, so clubs, no clubs, activity. He's done some work. And we'll go back one. This is what they've done. And they haven't been logging their scores, you know. So Blunderfest, you could tell, maybe joined last year, did some stuff, but, you know, maybe he was doing other stuff, maybe playing a little. If Blunderfest wants to improve, especially now that they're over 1,000, it's going to be time to get a little bit of religion. Games, no games. So there it is, my friends. Blunderfest, I hope you come back to us. You're already here, but I hope you come back with a sense of purpose, because this new cohort you're in, my friend, it's competitive. It's competitive. People aren't going to be dropping pieces as much now. All right, that was Blunderfest. Now we have Joshua. And Joshua, let's go down again. So this, for example, their tactics ratings. Let's go. Can we stock them? We can't. There's no link. But that's a little bit more plausible of a rating. Again, at this level, there's going to be it's going to be 3 weights for right now. Polgar mates, 5-minute survival, and then eventually, probably by the end of this month, we're going to add a test for the under 1,000 crew. Okay, so I think we said, oh, the Asian Dojo. Okay, great. An activity. They've definitely done some work here. 26 points, mostly endgame. Let's see if they got a game. I'll follow them. Games. Okay. So, it's not the same person. Let's see. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. So, now I'm assuming that one of these persons is Joshua. I'm not clear yet which one. Fine. Fine. Right. So this is a common mistake with D3. And it'll just be harder. In particular, what's going to happen after D3 is you're going to win the battle of the D4 square. So right away, C6, I'm going to call inaccurate. It's not the end of the world, but what you're doing is you're making a kind of standardish move that you would play against D4 to, this, it makes sense to control the knight and to give the queen away back, but not clear you need it after the timid C6, D3. You go back. Okay, you're totally solid though. A little frisky. And now you play Queen E7. So I think he wrote at the top, the position after knight D4 needs to be studied. And first of all, that can't be it. Okay? That isn't it. Now, you're right that we should be investigating bishop G6. But if it turns out that bishop G6 doesn't work, then for sure we want to play bishop E7 or conceivably bishop G4 followed by bishop H5 after F. I'm assuming F3 is going to hit. So let's see the analysis. Bishop G6. Boom. 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 So the interesting thing here is that the knight is not coming out. And you could continue here, for example, bishop D6. And, well, interesting position, right? One key about this kind of position is that let's just assume you're going to get the knight back, okay? I think you are. The question will be, how powerful are white's rooks going to be? Are our minor pieces going to be able to swarm him before he kind of gets it together? And the value that we should really see, the dynamic potential in black's position, is that our development is just much better here, right? But fundamentally, it looks unclear, a little hard to judge. But again, don't do this. This is a freak out move. If you don't like bishop G6, don't do that. Do something like bishop E7. All right. Now you get out of dodge. Castles. Here. He just plays intuitively here. Okay. Okay, you have survived. We can't say you haven't survived. Now, it's a real question. What should white do? What white should really focus on, I think, is trying to prevent you from developing. And basically, you end up getting developed, right? So, is it possible for him to stop you? Maybe not. Maybe not. One intuition I would have for white would be castles, let's say knight d7, bishop f4, and then just because I'm a jerk, I like that kind of thing, checkmate. So bishop f4 would work toward preventing castling long. Okay, long story short, white does not mess with you. You don't have to take that thing. I think I would prefer you not to take it, honestly, because now you got to worry about e5, queen c5. And now he hits you with e5. Notice that you developed his rook when you took on e4. And now, knight e5. Okay. Something I want to stress here too is your other option is h6. And this leads to kind of an unclearish position. Nota bene, you even have the weird, I don't know if this is true actually. I don't know if this is true. Anyways, h6 is the more plausible move. h6, don't go crazy, Kraai. Don't show him the weird stuff. All right, knight e5. White does this, it looks very inaccurate. You have bishop e6 looks correct, right? And now we have an interesting position where queen a2 is a real question for the dude, right? Queen a2, oh my God. And then what's going to happen? I think you're doing fine after queen a2. Maybe you would need to, the main thing you need to calculate is here and then here, and he's gone, right? He's going to lose his queen and his king. We'll take the king over the queen. So rook g8, missing a big chance. By the way, we're going to look at your time here for a second. So look at that, rook g8, you did not spend hardly any time. g3, yeah, of course he should take it. That looks strong. That looks strong. White offers a draw. I hope you said no. Now he's collapsing. Now he's collapsing. There we go. Nice one. Welcome to the... I hope you told him welcome to the dojo after this. So good game. Good game. And we'll look at the time usage. Now, let me just say, what makes me happy about this is you used your time, right? And your opponent did not. So when we're playing online games against these chumps, they're just going to give us so much by not taking any time. This chump, what is he doing? You know, he made numerous mistakes. All he had to do was think for a little bit, buddy. They don't think. It is incapable of the big think. Okay. So, thank you. How am I doing? Easy? Yeah, I'm doing all right. Then we got Triggle that says, activity tab is messed up after 3.0. Old hours and points disappeared. That's not quite entirely true. We jadooed some things, and for the things we jadooed, you might have to re-enter your values. Yeah, great, Blibba. That's very true. Okay. Joe Junicki asks, what's the difference between 3.0 and 2.0? There's quite a bit. And what I'm actually doing now with my days is I am making explainer vids. The biggest thing, I think, is how we reorganize the tactics. We have a whole regime. I'm going to talk a little bit about it when I go through people's profiles. But basically, we've got a whole tactics test regime. We're getting a tactics rating. You know, we totally revamped the tactics books. So I think that is the biggest change. But there's really a huge list. And I made a second video today about the books that we shifted around. Okay, next up is Mariko, and this is a really cool graduation. Look at this, 3 graduations. Let's read. I jumped 1 cohort. I'm graduating again since I got over 1,600 and went through most of the material. Anyway, slowing down and doing the work is key. I see improvement in rapid too, but it's a process, especially with a busy schedule. Started playing OTB at a local chess cafe here in Prague. Oh, look at that, dude. It is a different game, and I struggle with visualization in 3D. The logical chess book feels much better than the Morphy one. I like the rules in Morphy, but I feel that Chernov's book has better games. Looking forward to Dojo 3.0. Great. As I said a couple times, this logical chess book was correlated with the greatest games. It was like, the statisticians talk about strong correlation, weak correlation. This was a very strong correlation to 45 points of game. So a lot of people kind of, anecdotally, it seems true too, because a lot of people right at this level are saying the same thing. Well, it sure gets true. We moved some stuff around. We did move some stuff around. So here we go, Mariko. Okay, after not having played forever, played a few OTBs, gradually starting to play versus humans online. Research at the university in the field of AI and cybersecurity. So in a way, I understand more about machines playing games than humans. Cool. That's how I'm a little jealous. I feel like, if I could do it all again, maybe some AI, you just feel like you'd be doing something happening in the world. Now look at this. Mariko's ready to graduate again here, 1137. Let's scroll down tactics rating. So, okay, I might stalk Mariko just for a second, just to also see what's wrong here. So this makes sense that she hasn't done that many Bulgar mates yet. And then we're going to just check. So 1100 of a PR5 would correspond to, I think, 25. So we just want to see if that's true. Let's stalk her here. Oh, wrong one, Kraai. That's Lead Chess Classical. No, she doesn't have one for ChessCon. Okay. So let's go back up and we're going to look at some clubs. European encoders, activity. And Mariko, she jumped a cohort, did a bunch of work. Uh-oh, maybe no games. Maybe no games. We're about to find out. Oh, Mariko's done tons of games. She just hasn't listed it in her progress. Okay. So, let's look at this one. Now, I do want to pick one. If she had an OTB, I'd pick that, but it looks like she doesn't. So, all right. Let's look quickly. This is, looks like a 25 plus 5 or something like that. Okay. So, clock usage. No, it's not so bad. Not so bad. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, this to my eye is inaccurate with c3. Normally we would play that against bishop c5. And knight e4 is definitely grand for black because let's say queen e2, d5, maybe you do get the pawn back, but you're losing a lot of time with black slapping you all around, right? And this pawn on c3, it's just a very controversial move in this position. After bishop c5, it's no longer controversial because you're ready to spank with d4. And that's, here, the old-fashioned move, the romantic move is d4. And then the more, let's say, lame-o move that's more popular now is d3. After castles, black should again take. And the reason is that they're going to get that d5 move in the next whenever they're ready to do it. A5, no comprendo. Yeah, nothing. That ain't it. D4. Now you're almost close to winning, honestly. That's how bad this A5 move was. To put it into context, when I was a kid, I played this position many times as white, and there's this whole spicy line here. Oh, it's just lovely, my friends. It's just, it's so interesting. So much is going on. Black is holding on by the skin of their teeth, and even then it's still interesting. So if you imagine if black loses a tempo in such a dynamic position, ooh. Now, it is possible, let's just show a little bit more. It is possible to play like d6 here and kick it with bishop b6. And I stress this because when black takes in the game, it's really important to see that now your knight, which was your worst piece, is now going to become a monster. There it is, so natural, right? d6. Now, some players, myself really included, would have a little trouble playing this position because you're clearly better, but you have to hold your center together, and it's not necessarily easy. Bishop g4 might become annoying, for example. So now it's like we need to make sure this never messes with us so that those two pieces stay out of the game. Also, we don't want to lose a pawn. So my sense of this is like we do need to play h3, and you could be like, Kraai, you told me never to move the pawns, bud. I know. I did tell you that, but it's important to stop this so that we control this square. So d5, h6, bishop e3. And now maybe bishop h4 is better. And I think there's more than one reason for why it would be better. If you wanted to be a lame-o, you could shatter black's structure like that. That would be a nice position. And the other thing about this move is, well, black has two reasonable moves, bishop g4, and also knight e4 is now annoying. Knight e4, knight e4, and they get this thing, you know. So black, not really thinking with this move. Look at that. They didn't spend any time. And now d5 is a mistake. Now, let me stress something. This is hard to learn play for GMs as well. In this position, you don't actually want to do anything. You want to sit on black. So if you imagine black's pieces are all clogged up, and this is a great example of black having very little space. So in this position, you do not want to trade pieces, and this is a crime for a couple of reasons. One, this is going to relieve all of their cramp. Number two, you just killed the scope of this bishop, right? Okay, so knight e5, knight takes, pawn takes, d6, and at least you're freeing the bishop. At least you're freeing the bishop. I like that part of it. Yeah. So, bishop e3, rook e3, c6. Okay. This is a very ambitious move, c6, because it claims that black has killed your knight and that they don't have to worry about the d6 pawn. I don't know. That d6 pawn is pretty real. It's got to be said. So a much safer move would be bishop, let's say c6 here. And then black is going to be okay. c6, I don't know, dangerous. That isn't it, I don't think. That doesn't look right. It looks to me like you're losing a piece after b5, Mariko. So in this position, I think you need to tell yourself, I have to keep this bishop on this diagonal. So a lame-o move like a3 or I like a3 better than a4, but in any case, a move which lets us retreat the bishop after b5 is nice. Notice this pawn, it's not going anywhere. I'm ready. Whenever I'm ready, I'm going to put that big old baddie right there. And that pawn on d6 ain't going nowhere. That ain't going nowhere. We do need, though, to eventually fix our knight. So your intuition wasn't wrong, right? It's just there's a tactical problem with b5 here. Black misses it, also playing super fast. Knight c3, b5, bishop e2. So yeah, you lost the thread in that whole sequence, right? Knight g4, I don't know about that move. I don't know about it at all. Thank you, welcome very much. Look at this person, dude. They're just playing super fast. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Oh, it's just opening themselves up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's a little weird. Why are we letting him take our pawn? I don't want him to take our pawn. Now they're just blundering it all away here, aren't they? Check the miserable king. Simple good chess. Bang. This time he did it. Okay, cool. So Mariko, you've passed over 1,000. And this is, of course, an example of a chump who's not even thinking. You did much better. And this game is still being decided by blunders. But I'm hoping also that you're starting to develop a sense now of time and how now it will actually start determining games. So in the under 1,000 cohorts, time is usually not where the game is going to be decided, right? But now what's going to really happen is like tactical opportunities will be created because of the time that you've won in the opening, and you will win some strategic games just based on time. Okay, good. Don't give him that pawn on e4, right? Okay, very nice. Congratulations. And we're going to go back. This is Malformed, who has graduated numerous times. Let's read first what Malformed says. Switch rating from Deutsche Wetzel, the German rating system, to Lichess, as Lichess is faster in changing, and I have more opportunity to play Lichess than Deutsche Wetzel. So, bummer. Bummer, first of all. I get it. And I think, Malformed, that you should say to yourself, I've got this beautiful opportunity to play clubs in Germany, and eventually I want to return to the over-the-board rating system. I think it would be nice. For you. So, let's take a look at Malformed. 10-16, right. Let's look at the tactics. Yeah, I want to check that that's true. It seems really low, but he doesn't have it listed for the ChessCom, so I can't check that. Let me make sure no one's yelling at me. So, oh, interesting. So this was about the other person I wrote about earlier, Blunderfest. And Pruess says their Puzzle Rush survival is expired, but it's still registering in our tactics average, I think. I don't know what that means, that it expires. So that's really peculiar. I'm going to say a PR is a PR. But we might revisit that. Okay. So we're learning things as we go. Something about, the Puzzle Rush thing being expired. And then if it expires, then you're going to be left with some super low value. And that's no bueno. Okay. So clubs? No clubs. And then here we have a lot of work, Malformed being a lot of work. As we go up the ladder, we're going to see people doing more and more work. That's just the way it is. It gets more competitive. Good macro distribution here. Let's click tactics. Oh, look at that, buddy. Look at that. That looks great, man. And you can see this is like Malformed has really come up the ranks. We are going to switch this around. I registered a complaint because all the under 1,000 things were like green. I'm like, boss, we can do better. Let's get another color in there. Yes, it's Iris says, there's only one club anywhere near me in Germany, and it's upstairs. Oh, man. My old club, Vienheim, dude. Oh, man. This is a tiny town next to Heidelberg, and we just won the total Bundesliga. Amazing. Back when I was there, we struggled mightily, and it was heroic effort to make it from the second Bundesliga to the first. And now it's a very fancy club. Back then we were not a fancy club. Let's see if we got some games. Yes, we do. So let's take a look. This is malformed. Lauren is giving some help. Let's take a quick look at the clock usage. Doesn't look abysmal. We'll see if we can get mad at it later, Here we go. So far, so good. Fine. Okay, so one thing we should say about when you play, let's say, the King's Indian, a good thing about playing the King's Indian, especially at this level, is that you're going to get players who are following like either an engine recommendation or some course or something. And H3, by the way, great move, but you have to be on a higher level to play. Because you're playing for space, and there's some deep ideas with H3 that I'm just going to say at 1810 Lee chess or whatever this person doesn't get. So, why? Because they're going to have to know how to play with space. We've already seen it's not so easy at this momentito to be playing with space. This, however, I don't like. And the general rule for your King's Indian is to play E5 here. And then don't worry about losing the pawn in E5 because you can get it back. Another move would be C5. One of those moves are the moves you should be playing in this position. In general, this bishop wants to be on this diagonal. And also in general, after we've made a pawn move to get our bishops out, we don't need to make another one. Bishop D3 might make sense after B6, and that's a bad move. So you can see what I mean about space. It's hard. It's hard to understand. This move maybe is not so terrible, but in general, in the King's Indian, if we can get them to move this pawn, then we got to say thank you, because now we got these squares, the bishop has some scope, we're happy. Fine. And now this is a poor move. Well, okay, I take it back. No, it's a poor move. So you can't play B4 immediately, but you probably still want to make some assurances with A5 that he can't smack you. This one, I don't understand. I don't really know what we're doing. Okay, and he says right, that he didn't see that the bishop was there. Bishop D2, now B4 is a threat. A5, good. Rook AD1, I'm not sure I understand. E5. Now, what's good about this move is at least now you're going to a more familiar pattern in the King's Indian. And now the knight might indeed go to F4. I want to stress your bishop is misplaced, though, and now it needs to go back. Good. I don't think bishop F4 is correct. So the reason, at least intuitively, I'm going to say that's a no bueno move, is that that bishop is white's good bishop, and he just traded it off and made your bad bishop into a supreme bishop. So even if it were possible for him to win the pawn, we would say, hey, you still have good compensation for this trade. Queen D2, Rook E8, probably okay. You have, I think, multiple moves here. Bishop D3 is played. You play Queen F6, probably okay. A4, you're doing great. Knight B5. Rook E7, good move. Rook E2. Bishop A6. Interesting. Now, that is your good bishop. Ideally, we don't want to trade the thing. And now this is a tactical blunder here with A3. Okay. So, in general, the way you should think about playing this position is Rook A E8, followed by Bishop C8, And then roly-poly. Give him the roly-poly, baby. Give him the roly-poly. He's committed chess crimes. Look at your dark squares, baby. All right, he blunders. You blunder, he blunders. And now this is a magnificent structure for you because now your rook on A8 is truly a free man. And bang, bang, bang. He's crispy. Oh, wow. It's just crispy critters here. Oh, man, it's just a full yard sale. Well done. Oh, everything's hanging. Thank you very much. Let's mate him and tate him. D5, nice move. Okay. Check, check, check. Uh-oh. Well, it should be winning. We should be able to win this, and you do. So that was great, man. That was great, Malformed. Okay, so you can see here that at this level, the opening, it's not that important, okay? It's not that important. People are going to be making a lot of mistakes. And one thing maybe just to feel about chess that's higher level is to realize this is a horrendous mistake. Bishop takes f4. Oh, no. Now you can be truly happy. We got a question from Lumbra. Is it possible that in Polgar mates in 2, not all possible mates are listed in the solution? Okay, so I've been through the book several times, and there are very few problems with the book. I think there was 1 or 2, yes, where there was more than one solution, but in general, it is not something you'll see. Submarine Mike, thank you for subscribing. If I'm a little slow sometimes with the chat, it's because I'm working here. I'm doing stuff. All right, let's go back. That was Malformed. This is Tuda. Tuda writes me a novel and he says, finally graduating. It took me long enough. I think I was just entering in too high a cohort as I took my then existing Lichess classical rating, and that put me in 12 to 13. And I manually entered into a lower cohort. I probably was more of a 900 back then. Since then, I started playing regular OTB in a league and some tournaments, and I switched to the German rating, which is slow, though. Well, talk to Malformed about that complaint. I only got initial rating in November, influenced by games from August, and now it moves slowly. Right. Just came back from a tournament where I had a 12-15 performance, which moved my rating to 11-20. At this rate, it will take a while until I graduate again, as I'm expecting child number 3. Congratulations, end of the summer. And that, yeah, just goodbye. But goodbye, Tutor. Goodbye. That makes playing OTB weekenders away from home even less likely. But I just can't get my ADHD brain to focus on long online games on a screen. Yeah, nobody can, honestly. I don't think it's just ADHD. I got an e-board for my birthday. Okay. Our DM Hokie did some reviews of various e-boards. And I think, dude, it's going to be a thing. The e-boards. That's better, but there just is something about a tournament setting with a human opponent on the other side of the board in a hall with other boards and games that makes it more serious. Totally agree. I think my biggest weakness is actually accurately calculating and recognizing tactical patterns, which is also the toughest to learn at my age. I am not too fond of tactics time. I feel what I need is the structured stopping approach for motifs. I think he means the step method. Hilariously, I don't know, it's hilarious. Just today, I did a video about the books that we added or took out, and we took out tactics time, dude. Got the axe. Some people really liked it, and for what it's worth, like, what I was the one, by the way, who's originally the guilty party, and the idea was we just needed books at that level where you just over and over very basic tactics, just, hanging a piece, how to catch it, that kind of basic tactic. But it's gone. Okay. So I am back on the stop and trade, the steps method, enjoying it better than last night. Other than that, I enjoyed the dojo's recommendations, especially the sparring idea is great. Great in theory. In practice, it's tough to schedule slots. Okay, this is all good. Yeah. Now let's go take a look at Twitter. I want to say you might hear me at several points talking about playing OTB. And I get it, it's hard. One of the things we're seeing, for example, in a lot of the game reviews, is that people are just totally distracted, and especially the non-dojo randos that we're up against, they're just playing the 30-minute game if it's 5 minutes, right? And what is kind of, I think, critical if you are going to stay in that online world is to play in the dojo tournaments. They'll be longer, they'll be better quality, you're not going to run into cheaters. And using the e-board, which honestly I have no experience with, but I can well imagine it. If you're sitting there and maybe you just have a little ding sound come on when your opponent makes a move, you can focus on that board and not be brought in to the dangers of the internet. Okay, so here we go. This is the Dave 8 set. Let's go take a look at, we're going to follow, and we'll look at the tactics rating. Okay. We're going to have to talk about this tactics rating, but that looks plausible, right there. Okay, clubs. European, ADHD. I'm in the chess dads and moms, though my kids. I don't know if I really belong, because my kids aren't playing there. They don't care, dude. They don't care. Okay, lots of work being done here. And this was a hard graduation. As he said, maybe he got a little overambitious at the beginning. 209 hours. Now, not so many books stuff. Maybe that's he's doing, and this, you could argue maybe he's doing the steps method thing. That could be part of it. Okay, let's take a look at a game. Let's see if we can say something helpful. So, I believe we are black in this game. Okay. A little weird. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is a fun position. I think you're doing great. This is a wonderful position for black here. Absolutely fantastic. Because you're going to be able to play d6, and you're going to be super solid. Your knights are going to be working on the king side, your side of the board. Your pawns will be pointing this way. And it's like a king's Indian position, but you've gotten rid of your bad bishop. Now, did you need it to take it so soon? Controversial. I don't know if you really did. I wouldn't have taken it so soon. It's fine, though. Okay. Good. And now we need a plan. Let's see what you did. Okay. I'm okay with that move. Give me your good bishop, please. They oblige. H3, that doesn't help. Knight F4, baby. Boom, we're in. Now, that might be a good prophylactic move, but let me stress, you are in control, my friend, in this position. You are in firm control. Now, I think it's important not to play for tricks. So that's what I feel you're doing with Queen G6. Okay, so we do need a plan. And one big question will be, can white organize an expulsion of our knight? And he needs 2 moves to do so, here and here. So the first move that I think we should think about is G5, with the idea that if King H2, we'll play G4. And it looks very aggressive, but remember, it's really about stopping white from ever pushing us out. That's the ultimate goal. Yeah. Okay. So Queen G6, playing for tricks. Now that's the move they want anyway. And F5 is definitely controversial because now they can go win your good bishop. Okay. Right. Now white is back in the game. That's an aggressive move. I think it's okay. Oh, and then I don't approve of that. The big question is, can white organize G3? Right? Can white organize G3? To me, it looks like they can. And if they can play it now, they definitely should. Got to check it. You want to make sure. Okay. Maybe they... No, I don't believe. I don't believe. So, E4 is definitely suggesting itself here. Yeah, E4 looks great. So that's incorrect, Mundo. They finally played G3. We go back. Nota bene, I want you to see something. Rook takes F6. Your knight is terrible here, and white is going to like help you fix it. Right? What is he doing? Play something like that, guy. You know, come on. There's no rush for us to force the knight back to where it wants to be. Okay. Bishop D3 looks a little stronger. Okay. Okay. White needs a plan. Rook F1. At least they got a plan. Like maybe F4 is a thing. I know why you played E4. Because you were afraid of F4. That's why you did it. Yeah. I'm not even sure E4 is that bad. It's at least interesting. So Rook E1, I don't know if I'd do it if I was white, because now the F2 pawn is a weakness. I don't think you're going to lose the pawn on E4. Okay, but think about it. Is dude really threatening our pawn? I'm going to say at least not for a while. Yeah, well, it's a spicy position. Let's put it that way. And we definitely need an idea here. Well, there's some spicy things going on. Okay, anyways, I understand what you did. And now they're going to try to waste you over here. Well, now that looks like they blundered the pawn, and you said thank you very much. Now you're doing great. Oh, now look at that, buddy. Thank you very much. And now G5, yeah, G5 doesn't make any sense. Probably played out of a sense of like, dude, I don't know what to do though, right? And it's not totally clear what you should do here. One simpleton move that you could do, you actually found it here, E2, because if bishop E2, knight E3, and if rook E2, now you talk about rook E2, possible 2, yeah, actually your variation's fine. Fine. And here you can really see that the damaged pawns, if white, when they damage their pawns like that, they need some kind of dynamic something. And the dynamism is over, my friend, it's over. So very nice variation. I like that you found E2 and G5, you know, you thought for a minute on it. Doesn't do anything, right? Is white better after King G4? It's interesting. Let's just put it that way. I was thinking for my full 4 minutes before accepting the draw offer after A4. I just couldn't see the king situation resolving and me getting in. I forgot that I would have gotten an extra 15 minutes after flagging since we were past move 40. There was only one move I was calculating, A6, but there were quite a couple options on how this would play out, and I couldn't calculate all that in my 4 minutes, so I accepted the offer. Okay, Christian, listen. I want to say something crude and rude. This is your momentito to answer the question, was it a thing or not? Personally, I think you cannot do it, but I think the eval goes like, the variation goes like this. A6, there's only one move for white, King D3. Everything else will let your king in, okay? So Then, if we play b5, the scary thing is pop, pop, pop. Now, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. I think your king might be getting back. Holy moly. No, this one, da, 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 da. Well, see, he has a problem. He's got to go after your g4 pawn. And then c5. We don't waste time taking that pawn. We are going to win this game. So let's go back again. a6. King d3 is forced. b5. So if we conclude that CB, AB, A5 is not on the table, then we need to talk about it, because then it's a real thing. So AB, AB, CB, king takes, king over. What else is it going to do? Now, is it still frightening you? You bet it is. But look, king, 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 bang. We are faster, my friend. We are much faster. Okay. So was that analysis exhaustive? I wouldn't say so, but that's an example of the kind of work that you can do in the endgame, and really it's exemplary of learning what an endgame really is. Like a lot of times we think of endgames as algorithms to learn. Those are great, but this is the actual nuts and bolts that you are going to encounter again and again. Notice that the variation there goes kind of long, and you know, it looks very, first of all, encouraging. The ace takes move, but did I know immediately? No, I had to calculate that CB, A5 thing. It takes a little bit. It takes a momentito for Dr. Sofrito. So, here we go. Let's go back. So Tuda, congratulations. And now Arboria, who has been the 4th graduation. He's got so many graduations, this only shows 3. 4th graduation from the dojo in 12 months. Dang. Analyzing my games and doing a lot of tactics has helped me to continue improving. Also, Silman's book has had a practical impact in my games. Despite endgames is the area I enjoy the least. I now think more about my moves during that stage. Next month, I'll turn a year in the dojo, and it has been great. Having a structured program with clear tasks and goals keeps me focused and improving. Being able to graduate for the 4th time is the best testimony. Haven't mentioned it before, but I really enjoy David's videos analyzing classical games. I hope he does more. Great. Yeah, and he just did another one. You know, we have so many videos to do, but he's been the one really pushing we have this games to memorize feature, and he's done a lot of those. I need to get on it, but I am also doing a lot of other videos. Anyways, it's great that you like the videos. So, Mexico City. I want to go someday. You know, I've been to northern Mexico, but I never made it to Mexico City. So, 11, 12, look at this. Look at this, my friend. Beautiful. Let's look at the tactics rating. Something's going on. We're going to try to fix this, because I have a feeling it's higher than that. Actually, can I stalk you, Borya? Let me just, nope, can't stalk you. That didn't work. That didn't work. Okay, so clubs. Nice, Mexico. Look at that, 324 hours. And they did 125 hours to make it to this next cohort. Yeah, it's getting real. It's getting real. Okay. A little bit soft on the tactics and the middle games and strategy. Maybe that's coming next. I think what they were saying with the end game, right, is that that has helped his game. Maybe we'll even see something in his games. Let's see if we can say something constructive. Now here, Mudla is somebody in the dojo. Yeah, here it is, 60-30 from the dojo tournament. Okay. Okay, we had a position very similar a little earlier with Mariko. Okay. You have many options here, but I understand. Bishop e3, knight a5, little freaky because now, right, what just happened is black undeveloped their knight. Yeah, just goes back. Nice. Okay, I like this. I don't like this though. Look, you just did the knight thing. Now it's time to continue doing knight thing, right? So knight g3 or knight e3. Makes sense? Doesn't really make sense. h3, please. Okay, fine. That's okay too. Now, one thing I want to just stress about this kind of advance that black did is notice when they played d5, that really helped their pieces all that much. Yes, this bishop gets some play, but ultimately, you know, prudent would be, say, castling short. So black has made, they're losing the thread here. And now you're going to play h3 next, and that good bishop is going to have a problem. This makes no sense. And we don't want to take on d4. We're just going to leave it there, right? So black has lost 3 tempi in the last 3 moves. Good. Boom. And now you play knight h4. Plausible. We can also mention knight g5 is also a good move because with knight g5 you will take away the light squares. You'll take that bishop on e6. Here the question for me would be, well, what are you going to do after g6? That would be my basic question to you. Black blows it, plays h6. You say, I'm coming in, bows. And now that knight's in. It's a major knight too. Okay, here I would castle short. That doesn't look right. Boom. Thank you very much. Boom. 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 Game over. I think you've won 2 pawns. That isn't it. That isn't it. Okay, now we're mopping him up. Moodla, what happened, buddy? What happened? What's going on? Easy chess now. Check the miserable king. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. Oh, b4. Fancy. Okay. Here, if you shouldn't have allowed it, but bishop g3 would be the basic way to stop black here. Now I'm a little making me nervous. Well, that didn't work out for him. Moodla, buddy, you just hung all your stuff. Uh-oh. Moodla. Let's go yell at Moodla. First of all, let's mark this review before we forget. And then look what happened. Oh, no. Moodla, buddy. Should we yell at him on Discord? Should we be like, Moodla, bows. Moodla, bows. You gotta use your time. So hold on. I gotta go to the appropriate channel to yell at him, which is the general channel, just so that his shame can be made public. Moodla. Boss. Gotta use your time. And then I got a little icon for slow down. Slow down, bows. So that's me yelling at Moodla. Just real crude and everything, you know? Okay, so that was I guess we call it a convincing victory. You know, when your opponent doesn't think, they're going to get wasted. And that's what happened. Yeah. I thought you played, by the way, like, there's a lot of things here. Besides up to this point, I thought you played the scheme of the opening pretty good. And a4 in it, you know. Okay, but other than that, looks good. So that was Arboria, again graduating. And now we have K. Maddox. A lot of people in the 11 and 12 cohort. This is a graduation I've been looking forward to for a while. I have been putting in the work with tactics and felt like I was getting stronger, but not showing it with my OTB. Finally had a few good tournaments in a row and shot up. Well, that's what I like to hear. So let's go over here. K-Matics. We're going to always start with a little tactics rating, 973. They've been working on it. Makes sense. Soon we'll have the tactics puzzles for K-Matics to do. We're going to follow K-Matics. And really cool, actually. And by the way, as we move up the cohort ladder, we'll see more and more people using the OTB. And, you know, it does take a little longer. You got to be a little patient with the OTB. It's not going to be this instant thing where, you know, you could go up several cohorts in a week on Lee Chess or something, you know? People playing fast there. And, you know, you could get a couple clients and they pay you all their rating and all of a sudden you've jumped up. But this is truly like the long-term, very deep approach to chess improvement is to play over the board. So really good. Honestly, they'll be close to graduating again in not too long of a time. Clubs. The clubs activity. Lots of work was done here. Look at that. Lots of work. Good macro distribution. Let's take a look at some games. It'd be great if we had a OTB game. I'm going to mark it as reviewed before I forget. Let's see if we got some times. Nope. Let's see what's going on here. This is a fancy move. Okay. And now Queen H4. Okay. Good. Queen E4. And then, right, K-Matics is black. So let's flip this around. And here, black falls for a trick. Exclam. And really, we are, I guess we're going to say, technically we're lost. No great advice here. I would prefer King D7, but okay, it's King D8. It would make a lot more sense for white to play King E2 and then D3, or even D4. This at least gives you something to kind of hope for with these double pawns. Looks poor. We want to play E5 anyway. What are we doing? Play E5. Get a tempo. They give, you take. They give, you take. Oh, look, now Rook F8. Thank you very much. Oh, look at that. White totally blew their advantage. White is still, well, white, I was going to say they're still better, but they got to play really well now. Rook HE1. I think you need to pronto play Knight C5 to get rid of this fiend, because it's looking at you, you know. So Rook HE1, this is unnecessary. And then what? Oh, that isn't it. And you said thank you very much. Now, one quick note. I want you to see that this bishop takes E3 is a psychological, I was about to call it a psychological thing, and then I realized maybe chess is harder than that. So actually, here's a good point. Here's a good little thing to talk about. In general, we don't want to take the pinned piece. So for example, we should make white beg us to take. Like make him play H4, make him play King D1, you know, before we take the thing. The reason we often do it, though, we take it, is we've been burned in the past, because by holding the tension, maybe there's some tactical thing that can jump at us. And here's an example of it. E5 looks very strong, but then, oh no. And he says, welcome to the dojo. He says, welcome to the dojo. So, bishop E3. So a cleaner move would be Knight C5. But we understand why you took. In general, they don't want to trade off their rook when they're down the exchange. This person does. E5, okay. 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 I don't understand. Rook F E8. No, bows. This is where the rook belongs, in the open file. I don't know what black's doing. I think you should play knight c5 to hunt down the bishop. I don't know what white's doing. That's kind of scary, actually. Yep. Now we got an interesting position all of a sudden. Things went out of hand. He says up here he miscalculated. And now this, I think, is going to be a very interesting endgame. You should still be winning, but it's going to be hot, right? So here we need more analysis. Doesn't make sense to me, the c5 move, for example. I don't understand what we're doing. So, for example, here's a line to analyze. g4, snip, snap, king f4, king takes, king takes. Now, we have a choice. Do we go back or do we start marching? It's going to get hot, my friends. I'll tell you that. It's going to be hot. Oh, buddy. Because see, he's got another one lined up. I don't know. It's a little spicy, my friends. It's a little spicy. So you can see this position got totally out of hand. Let's try something. Oh, man, this one's really hot. I don't know. So we have to prevent white from getting the king here. If we're going to go passive and play the king here, we have to either get our king here and we cannot allow this whole thing going down our throats. See, so we can't hold the position with the rook on e8 and the king on d7 because he can break us with e5, e6. Okay. Slum chess. That's a good name for your question, buddy. How can you delete it? It's very simple, bud. You just go delete it. But I'm not the one to ask about it. I am not the technically proficient person. Okay, so let's talk about this position. We want to get our king to e8. Oh, man. Let me just say, again, this is where you need to focus on annotating the endgames because this is where you'll learn. I think this is fascinating. I don't know what's happening. c5, let's just see how you did it. Okay, terrible move, king d3. Terrible move. So, king f4. Let's say you played king d7. King f5. It's hot. Maybe rook g8. Maybe h4. It's hot. It's just, the heat is on. The heat is on. I don't know what's happening. I'm afraid. Okay, anyways, this person blows it. We should talk about it. King e8, passive. King e6 looks better. b4, no comprendo. King d5 looks correct. He freed your rook. Uh-oh. Now he gave you a passed pawn. Now he's going to get just yard sailed it. Yep. And now this ain't going to do it, huh? Okay. So, good game. A little work on the endgame annotations will improve your endgame dramatically, K-Maddox. Hi, Pepper Chess. Thank you for the link, Nordovich. Okay, here we got Joe. Follow. 1238. Look at that nice jump. Let's go look at the tactics rating. And yeah, we got to figure that out, man. And actually, let's go. I think we can. This is somebody we can stalk. So let's go over here. Boom. I just want to look at the puzzle rush. So they've done 106, which means this is really probably where they should be. 24, I've got this opened over here. 24 is a rating of 1,000. I'm just double checking this is all correct, Mundo. So yeah, there's 1,000. And then they have survival of 28, and that's indeed 500. Okay? So that is all actually correct with the tactics rating here for Joe. Yeah. Okay. So Joe has made it, though, this far without the tactics. The new tactics regime is here, Joe. It's time to apply yourself. Clubs, adult improver, activity, and this is how they got here. I have a feeling they're not logging their times because, for example, they've done all these games. All right. Let's mark it as reviewed before we lose it. Times aren't here. That's okay. Usually this is considered poor because of CD. Yeah. So normally you play C6 and then D5. It's okay. This looks wrong to me. That also looks wrong. Queen B3 looks strong. That's just abysmal. Terrible. You develop. You develop. He loses another tempo. Okay. Now, when you say this is a typical move, kind of, but look, this is we're no longer in typicalville. Right? We're no longer in the typicalville. So if we go back, we should, especially after bishop g5, we should say to ourselves, you know what? I think I'm winning this position. And the first move just pops to my mind would be queen a5. What are we trying to do, really? We're trying to develop with tempo, right? And we're just doing amazing. You know, we're going to castle. We're going to play knight e5 when we're ready. Oh, man, it's just a joy. I think, yeah, black's already winning. Okay, so look for the tempo gaining move when they give you time, right? Because when they give you more time, a lot of times you can use that time to gain even more time in the position. That doesn't make any sense to me. Well, now you're doing good. Okay, so it's mellowed out a little bit. Now we get this position. A move I want to just note that's interesting here is f6, with the idea that on ef you have this dirty check. Something to think about in the post-mortem. I'll get some trades. It looks like you're still looking for that f6 move. Good. What I like about it is that you activated your rooks. And white's last couple moves didn't really make any sense to me anyways. f4, maybe. gf, I would very much consider rook gf8 first, just to not activate the e file and also the d3 rook. That wasn't it. Queen c7. That wasn't it. King b8. Rook f4. Yeah, of course, rook f4. They can't take on a7, no way. Okay, here we need some annotations. Because when you do this, now maybe you're winning, but you're going to bring the queen back into the game. So our default moves here should be rook f1 or rook f2. He fell for that, dude. So when we go back, we need to analyze this a little bit. And the first thing we should say is, it is a little spicy. So king c2. King d2, you're going to have queen a5. That's interesting. You write that too. Good. Queen h7. And now king... you say king d2. Good. Good analysis. And yeah, you're the one now with the problems. Yeah. Be good to know what the time situations here were. But again, this move is where I would say you should look to see if you can find something better for you, because while the queen is on her little journey over there, I think there's real drama. So for example, check. Let's say rook d1 check for a second. Here you have a variety of moves, and white doesn't really have counterplay. So a very simple one, maybe you got something better, would be queen g3. And you're threatening a lot of things. Okay, might be better moves too. Let's go back. And now we have Juan Baranesh, second graduation. For me, playing longer control games helped me the most since the previous cohort I graduated from. I spent little time in this cohort since I had already made the rating jump, but I wanted to be sure and consolidate a bit more before doing this graduation. Great. Okay. So let me just check over here. Pepper Chess asks, can the review with an equal in 3.0 be with a non-dojo member? Yeah, I think that's okay. Sure. So, all right. Wait, Jerry McDonald in the YouTube chat says, I probably ruined tactics time for everyone by losing 200 ELO. He retracted a message. It was you, Jerry. You were the one. All right, let's click on Juan here. Second graduation, super nice. Let's look at that tactics rating. And here we got a nice, you can see probably one is concentrated on their survival here. Actually, can I stalk him? I'm just fascinated with our new system and how it's working. So Puzzle Rush has done a bit. I'm going to guess probably haven't done that much. Well, let's see, 5 minutes 30 would get you a score of 1,500. So this is what I'm talking about. See, so it's somehow expired. I don't know how the algo, was it, I guess it was our algo or something figured it out. I don't know. But this should be higher, right? In fact, what's cool about this is besides the Polgar mates, Juan is, considerably higher with the tactics here. Okay, clubs. All right, cool. Activity. Done a lot. We'll go down one. And they've done a lot here too. It looks like mostly end games. Let's see if we get a game. We got a couple. So. All right. In my course, I advocate for DC here. Good. And right now you have white has a problem. Bishop b5, unless they're actually going to crack you on that diagonal, is not a great move. But you have a beautiful French, of course, now. And white, if they don't do anything, they're going to get taken to the cleaners because your structure is so good and the d4 point is weak. No, I don't worry about that. Just play queen d7 here. Just queen d7 or rook c8. You're fine. Right, you allow that. Notice it's a structural deformation and it's a tempo loss with a6. Okay, we're getting out of dodge. A little annoying. Good move. You talk about f6. I approve of that message too. A5's interesting. And I realized I could talk more about what white did. White had better moves. But I think this is okay. That's got to be okay. I don't know about rook fe1, and that isn't it. That just isn't it. Bishop c4. Bishop b5 has got to be good too. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now you're just cruising. A little frisky, I don't know. Let's come back. Very good. Nice, getting a little frisky on you. You said, I don't care. That's the bold move right there, my friend. Knight c2, it says, I don't care about all the things you're saying to me. Oh, it's just a yard sale now, too. Just give me everything. Just give me everything, Bows. Oh. Again, try not to take the pin piece, but you are crushing this person. Uh-oh, did we allow counterplay? So, yeah, we allowed a little counterplay, but you're still completely winning this posizione. Oh my gosh. Why don't we just play like King f7 here? Oh my gosh, things got hot and hectic. Okay, and we have a time usage too here. Oh, it wasn't so bad. It wasn't so bad. Okay. So. Okay. So, all right. Back. That was one. And now we have Ben Hedges, who's graduated multiple times. I've been hanging around the Dojo Training Program for a long time, iterating between trusting the program and taking it easy and not doing the sweat work. Making the graduation rating and getting to go up to the next level was hard work this time. What really made the difference is the commitment to deeply analyzing my games. I've learned a lot just by looking at alternatives starting at move 1 and going deep into variations to determine better play. The other major influence was a few lines of logical chess move by move, combined with the cohort class I took with Jesse and a few others. Oh, right, I remember. I've learned to consider tempi as part of my development in the opening, and I'm now recognizing when my opponent doesn't respect their pieces and time. Ben Feingold says never play f3. I'd say never play h3 if all of your pieces are on their home squares. The other major commitment I made was the limited opening study. Now I am only doing it in the context of the deep game analysis that I'm doing. Because of this, I had a little plateau, but the rest of my game is strengthened, and now I feel that I'm playing above my level. Hopefully I don't lose any games before the grad stream. Okay, super great. Yeah, so let me just say, we did a class, a game analysis class. It was several months ago. And then I actually offered another one. And then for whatever reason, people weren't into it. And, I got busy with 3.0 anyways, so this last month I have not been thinking about classes, but soon maybe I can get a class going on. Yeah, I cross online. I need to do a logical chess move by move and see what's going on with that book, man. That book's on fire. I read it, when I was a kid, ages ago. I don't actually have a recollection of it. I do remember the 60 most instructive games as that one being very critical for me. Okay, Popeye said it best, I am what I am. Beautiful rating progress here. Maybe they lost one game. Oh, and they fell under 1,200. Oh. Let's go look at the rating. 1152 looks consonant with the situation here, so that's good for our ratings business. And we're going to start with clubs. Chicago, okay, there's a good chess scene in Chicago. We're going to go back 169 hours, my good friends. 169, that's what it takes. That is what it takes. Mostly games and analysis, fantastic. All right, let's take a look. So, who should we pick here? I think I want to pick this one. Well, that one's a while back. All right, let's do, I'm confused. Let's do this one. This is most recent. So this is Lone Wolf 30-30. Jesse, sorry, I didn't take my time in the long endgame after getting it back on the clock. It was hard to make the transition back to taking time after getting below 3 minutes after move 30. I was aware of this during the game and will continue working on it. Nice. Okay. Good. Now let's take a look at this clock. Oh, you can see what happened. By the way, one thing everyone should see is when people are exhausted, it's hard to think. And then when it's hard to think, you just start moving. And both players did it in this game. They got to some end game and they were using just seconds a move, and then their time skyrocketed. Right? One of the reasons people like blitz so much, myself included, is I can just lose myself. You know, I don't have to, I'm not really thinking, I'm just going, tat, 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 tat. You know, play some good move, think I'm a genius. No, you know, come on, give me a break. All right, so let's get into it. Boom, boom. Little weird, little weird. Okay, White's playing a setup. It's a known setup. It's not terrible. Good. Fine. Little weird. And you're just playing principal chess. Great. Great. It's looking great. Knight d7. Knight f1. And it's good that you spent some time on e5. It probably does lead to an advantage. You're keeping it simple. I'm not sure about bishop g5 just because I'm not quite sure what you're going to do on h6. Okay, good. Controversial. Controversial. And you play bishop h6. Now, we should, at the very minimum, say the bishop e7 looks amazing for you. You got to say that, right? You got to be like, well, and you're not even going to rush to take on f8 after that. So I think you missed that one. Bishop h6. Weird. Okay, so notice what black is doing. Okay, it's first of all, they're moving too fast. Second of all, they are opening the position whilst not developing their pieces, right? And this is a particularly horrendous move because now he's giving you this square. So you do, let's call it a minor crime here, and you do this, and this hurts your bishop, who can now no longer do this fancy stuff, and it hurts your knight, who wanted to do this. So the first move to dream about would be, or first plan, I guess, would be snip, snop, and knight e3. You have other moves too, but keeping the center fluid while you are up in time should definitely be a goal here. So moves that also come to mind are bishop c4 and rook ad1. Ben is in the chat, super cool, all right. And now you lose your mind with e5. So, by the way, let's just say it's really weird what black is doing. Like, where's that knight on e8 going to go? It's not the easiest position, by the way, but still, they got to figure it out. All right, e5 seems too much. This is now a position that I can imagine being hard to play. Knight e3 looks correct the mundo to me. It's complicated though. Good move. And what's interesting about this is, even though looks to me like you blundered a pawn, you are opening the position while black is not developed. All right, you took, it doesn't seem correct. Yeah, rook ad1 even. So queen, knight takes, queen, I don't know why the knight doesn't take. Check. Play knight e5, okay. Okay. So this is incorrect because you're allowing the knight to come back with tempo. So knight fe3 made some sense. You are, I guess, a little worse now. I like that you're defaulting to development, Ben. So like maybe things have gone wrong, you know, but you are defaulting to development. Okay, I like that move. It's at least got some tricks to it. And now you played knight d2. Knight g4 would be a real question, I think. I don't know why they're not playing knight d. They're not playing knight d4. Okay, good. What is going on? Okay. So, if we were going to move our knight, I think we would move it here. So, hold on. Hold on. Why aren't we doing this one? Yeah, what's going on? So then here we lose a full tempo because now I guess what you saw or must have seen is that, well, there's all kinds of grief, I guess, here. So, okay, we're that's a weird move. Give me that. Give me that. What is this person doing? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And now we got ourselves a difficult situation. You note knight ed7. Looks like it wins the exchange. Yeah. Yep, knight ed7. So black played way too fast, and they got themselves into a little trouble here. You could have been back in the game with knight ed7. That's a plausible move. This is a plausible move, knight d3. And rook fe8 would require some real thinking on their part, how much they use. Oh, less than a minute. That isn't it. Okay. So now you're in a very technical situation. Okay. And what I want to stress, actually, now we're in the endgame phase. This is a very interesting endgame, and I don't find it easy to know exactly what's going on because the rooks are very strong, and he's up a pawn. So I can imagine if I had this, I think I probably would want to be black here. Boom. Makes sense. Boom. And now this is a waste of time. Rook e3 looks interesting and plausible. Yeah? So in the end game, in general, before we even talk about this specific position, you want to be active. And this move is not going to be active, right? It's a challenge, however, for you to figure out exactly how you want to do it. If you're trying to draw the game, for example, maybe we would consider knight, rook, knight, trying to create a fortress situation. And then when we're ready to play rook e7. This is just the beginning of the analysis, though, because he's got plans like rook here, rook here, rook here. The party's just getting started, right? This is what we mean by analysis. This, though, is a clean loss of tempo because he wants to play b5. Rook d8, what a weird move. Of course they should play rook takes a3. Thank you very much. Okay, rook b3, rook f7. Well, he totally blew that one. Now, what I'm going to stress again is that you need to be active here. So g3, I don't get it. And you talk about rook e3, but let's just put it here. What would be the most natural move? You're just saying activity. What would be the most natural move? It would be this move, right? That's going to be the move to give him a heartache over here. And we're going to get, we're going to be active. We're going to be active. All right. Okay. So G3, King F6. Here they're both moving really fast. King G2, King F5. King F3, H5. Let's read what you write. White doesn't understand how this is helpful, but at this point, white can stop black from making it to the queen side. Well, right, what we should say is, if black wants to win this game, there's only one way, my friend. This king needs to be a shepherd to these pawns to advance. And it does look very scary, which is why white needs to activate the rook sooner rather than later. Let's say you continue King G2. I don't know what you're doing, honestly, right? And then now it's looking poor, right? He's very fast. He's very fast, much faster than you are. So that's an example of what black should be looking for. And what he does with well, first of all, he brings his king to the wrong side of the board. He's playing on your strong side. And now H5, honestly, moves like that just help you create passed pawns. So let me say something. You could win this game now. You could conceivably win this game now. All right, H4, I'm not thrilled, but I'm even less thrilled with that one. Oh, no, he's helping you make passed pawns. Rook D3, good. Oh, that's a terrible move. Check. Check. Bang. Thank you very much. And now black goes for it. Okay. Now, black needs to spend significantly more time determining the path forward. Leaving white with connected pawns is very dangerous for the rook. All right, so we have ourselves a very spicy situation. You need to spend at least a couple minutes on this move. What do you do? Let's talk about this. Is black threatening H2? I'm going to say no. They are not. So this is definitely a momentito to do some analysis. And then what about G4? Looks very frightening for Mr. Black. However, we're not done. H2, king here, rook takes. We got to go king H1. And here I guess we're looking at a draw, right? We're looking at a draw. In fact, we might want to be a little careful, but yeah, we're going to easily draw this thing. Okay. Bummer, because he deserves to die. He deserves to die after what he did. This one I'm real nervous about, though. I'm real nervous. Because he gets this with check. Okay, here's another way to try to win the game. No, it's not so easy. Yeah, here's a way we could try to win the game. King G4, H2. On rook F2, king H3, it's technically a draw, but we can press him. F4, exclamation. The only move that would scare me would be king E4. And now I go win the coconut. And we got ourselves an interesting proposition because our pawns are running. Okay, so back to the game. Oh, buddy. This is hot. Check, king, here. This is going to be really hot. Check, king, B2. Oh, my friends, this is a hot one. Okay, let me try to describe why this is hot. You have good chances of winning this because if you can sacrifice your rook and have the connected passers while the black king is hanging out over there, then it's going to be a thing. You play rook b8, and you're just playing super fast, okay? The thing is about rook b8 is maybe it's not that bad of a move. Notice that if we go g4, king here, rook here, this is truly a check to the miserable king, and then we're hosed, okay? No bueno. So, rook b8 therefore has a sense that I'm not sure you're aware of. King c3, that's not it. Or at least, I don't know. What's the main question now? g4, king c2, g5, b1, rook takes, king takes. Now, we do have a problem in that I don't have a great tempo move right now. If I play g6, I lose the pawn to rook a6. Now, I do have a guaranteed draw with king e4, rook takes, g6. But I wanted more. So you see what I'm saying? It all comes down to these tempos, to whether I'm going to get this bad boy or not. Let's do it this way. King f4. That way, we're avoiding that dirty trick, rook a3, rook b3, and we need to do it anyway. King c3, g4, we've won a critical tempo. g5, b1. We're still going to get hammered with a tempo onto our f-pawn, which is unfortunate, but there's nothing we can... Actually, wait, I know how to do this. So in this position, we'll play king f5, exclam. b1, takes, f4. And I'm not going to go too deep, but I think it's probably lost, okay? Am I 100%? No, but I think it's probably lost, and that's something you could check out. All right. Mark that as reviewed. That was great. That was a great game. You can see what we mean when we say people are missing their gains in the analysis of the end games. Also, like next time when Sherbs plays, when Ben plays, like you're going to be exhausted. But when you do the analysis, you're going to say to yourself, right, what the analysis says, what Kraai says, is these people are making chump moves all the time, and it's time to just have a little, just that little bit of depth is going to give me a huge competitive advantage. Because this guy, Huber, he ain't thinking at all. He ain't thinking at all. All right, great, Ben. That's really great that you graduated. Am I ever going to be done with this graduate show? Probably not, dude. Probably not. FF Medic says, feels good to graduate to the next cohort. I have to say, I love the dojo and how it breaks down everything for you to study. One of my issues I had with improving was what to study or where to start, and the dojo has helped me figure it out. Admittedly, I was lazy with my annotating, and I plan on working on that in the next cohort. Another thing I need to do is to use Discord more to review games with others. I'd like to find a training partner or partners and be able to go over games, etc. Nice. Okay. So, 1201 looks great. Has been with us, just very recent. Let's look at that tactics rating. 1219, looking good. So that's a cool tactics rating. It looks consonant with where they are. Okay, so clubs, Detroit, nice. Okay, then we're gonna go over here to 1112. 111 hours, my friends. Somebody is working. Somebody is working. Well, that's pretty good right there. Nice macro distribution. Let's see if we get a game. So, okay. A little weird maybe, but it's okay. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, your opponent, look at that. What are they doing? What are they doing? Knight A3, where's that knight? I guess it's, I don't think, yeah, that knight. Oh, what's he doing? What's he doing? That wasn't it. Bang! Take that, Hawkes. Take that, Hawkes. Yeah. Well, you can see at this level, it's still going to be blunders. Okay. So, oh, Kraai, what have you done? Next up, we have Kevin, and Kevin says, very happy to be a dojo member. The long games and postmortems and great community help a lot. I am starting to hear Jesse's voice about using time better. Nice. That's what we like to hear. 1302. Very nice. Let's look at the tactics. We're starting to get, this is what I want it to look like, right? This is what I want it to look like. This is looking good. Yep. And what I mean by that is I feel like if you don't have to do it forever with the puzzle rush and survival, but if you want to improve, you just do it a little bit as a diagnostic of where you are. Do the Polgar mates, and it will tell you this beautiful tactics rating. At the end of the month, this player will also have a test score here once we get those tests established, and so there'll be 4 components to their tactics rating. That's right, Ben, you did win that game. Okay, so clubs, Quebec, people all over the place. And a lot of work was done here, my friend. A lot of work was done. So we'll stick it there. Uh-oh, wait, 12 to 13 crime. 173 hours. Very inspirational. And that's the way it should look right there. That's the way it should look. We got some games. 64 squares. Fine. Okay, good. 94 is a typical trick here. They just give you the pawn. They say thank you very much. And I like this move, e6. You could do other things, but I like that move. It's simple. You're keeping your pawn, hitting the knight. Good move. Weird. I don't like that one. I don't like that one. A5 is a good move. B6 is a good move. Get your bishop on C8 out, right? All right, notice that white played a little superficially with knight b5, and we're just going to push him back. He tries to get spicy. We say, challenge accepted. Takes your knight. And definitely ba4, correctamundo. And you're well in control of the game. And now, well, you're still doing great. My opponent mentioned in debrief that he was playing OTB and did not see this move on his board. Okay, well, it's still going to be, oh, because he could have played AB5 here. That's definitely a thought. Maybe he should have done it. Okay, now you're back in charge. This is a mistake, I feel, because he's trapped his bishop in. I like the debrief. We sometimes call that the postmortem. Yep. Rook d8, queen b3, bishop d7. I kind of would, if I could, maybe I can't, but I'd rather not do bishop d7 if I can avoid it. Because that bishop, I'm kind of a chump. How about bishop c6 now? They're very good. Boom. All right, you're playing really good. Well, let's take on c4. Bang! Oh, yeah, now we're just grooving. So definitely queen takes b3 or rook takes d3 are winning the game. Well, he's just hanging all his coconuts. Just bishop a4. Now, notice this is going to get a little complicated. The simplest way, I think, actually, forget simple Kraai. Let's see what he did. It's going to be interesting. Here, 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 here. I mean, you're just winning all his coconuts. So there you go. There it is. right? So basically, right, your opponent hung some stuff, then played some superficial moves. You took advantage of it, and I hope you said welcome to the dojo at the end. Yeah, that looks really good. Tausch Machina done right. That's right. Okay, good job. And now we have Jens choosing a more suitable starting point. Okay, let's go see what's going on with Jens. 1467 has graduated a bunch. Might have like started to be in the wrong cohort or something. Hasn't done any of this stuff. And they joined just last month. So yeah, I think we'll leave this one because Jens is going to graduate again at another point. Big League. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Big League has been with us for a while. Let's read what he says. I'm 35 now. Oh, he's a young pup. Slowly getting better. Working with other dojoers has always been amazing. As a youngster, I didn't know there was such a thing as chess clubs, so I spent days, weeks, months playing against myself. I restarted playing a few years ago because I was struggling with concentration and I wanted to force my brain to learn to concentrate for extended periods again. I think it's slowly working. Next month, I'm going to a tournament in the Netherlands. I've been playing both league and club games. The league games, this is the big league, by the way, where my main focus and keep me motivated. Unfortunately, there is now a summer break for both the league and chess club classical games. When Jesse says opening study hurts us, he is right. I dropped a lot when I started playing openings instead of thinking every move. The reason I think is because during the opening, the brain doesn't get fully turned on, resulting in misses directly after what you know. That's a good one. Good point. I watch the graduation videos religiously. Okay, good. Blibup has a question. If I drop down a cohort, do I pick up with the same activity time when I graduate back up after? When I graduate back up after, I think so, yes. Do I believe in Jesus? There was a character in The Big Lebowski named Jesus who was like big with the bowling ball. Definitely believe in Jesus, man. That guy was real. Okay, Big League. So, this is what's called the FIDE boost. And Big League has gone way up there. Let's scroll down a little bit. So yeah, you have a discrepancy with the FIDE and the lead chess. And Big League needs to get in there with their tactics rating. Okay. Clubs. Core Dojo is right. Dojo 1.0, I remembered. Activity. Lots of work is being going down here. So 13, 14. And yeah, that's where all the work happened. First graduation, really nice. Takes time. Takes some time. Okay, games. This is Big League against Matu Pruess. So, last game of the season. All right. This is the Big League. Fine. This is all part of the dojo aggressive repertoire for white. D6, castles, F4. Nice. Yeah, looking good. Perfect. Knight G4, looks superficial. Controversial, moving a developed piece twice. You do have to worry about bishop C5, that's true. Okay, so now I think you could say it's a critical moment. You're doing great in this position. And we need to make an accurate move. And you find here, I think it's like Queen E1. Yeah, that looks good. You do have to see on Queen E1, though. It's true. You have to reckon with Knight D4, which looks very scary. And that isn't the easiest move to find. Right? Not the easiest move to find, but it looks correct. A lot of times, by the way, this isn't just in this opening. But when your opponents play like a superficial threat move like knight g4, you will often have to do, like you can punish it, but it will often be kind of tactical, especially now that we're getting to a higher level now, like big league is here. Okay, what happens here? King h1. But now queen h4 is grief, right? Queen h4, yeah. Yeah, queen h4, you're in a little trouble. Queen e1, now you're back in the game. Queen f6 is not it. Welcome to the dojo. I think you're just like, now you're just winning. That isn't it. Okay. I mean, when I say that isn't it, I don't know exactly what the guy should do, but you're just fully in charge now. Okay. You played fe5, and you mentioned h3. f5 looks also very strong with the idea of just playing h3 next. Let's say this is also a dream of this whole setup, right? Because the f-pawn is a very valuable attacking force. Plus, we're just killing this bishop. And then on our next move, we will play h3, and it's going to be welcome to the dojo. Right? Okay, so you take, and then do that. That doesn't feel right. That's unnecessary. And you said thank you. Wild. Wild, no one knows. All right, so now you're just up a pawn in a very nice position. A little weird. So notice with that move, you're kind of freaking out, right? You're like, oh, I can't deal with this bishop. I can't take it. But that is your good bishop, right? And we would rather not exchange that bad boy. Is black threatening anything? Not really. I get it, though. This is a little bit, we can call it a comfort move. Now, they should definitely play knight takes to keep their bishop, but they do not. Probably because they're obsessed with trying to mate you or something. And now, I think you're winning f7. My original plan was knight g4, but that would develop the bishop for free. My knight looks strong here. But wait a sec. Are you winning a pieszki, as they say? Right? Thank you very much. Looks too good. Yeah, looks too good. Your move, also in control, I think. That isn't it. Thank you. Why did we trade on f8? Yeah, why are we trading on f8? This is getting scary now. He goes here. Doesn't look right. What does it do? Thank you. I won a piece. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And I don't know what he's doing over there. Oh! Check to the miserable king. Very nice. Okay. That, let me just say, there's a lot of things in here, some random moves by your opponent in particular. But something I want to stress is, let's go back actually just to go look at where you are for a second. So, you're at the 14-15 now, and it's not the case that we say you should never be studying openings. Right now, you're at a really cool spot where once you start diving into those games with the aggressive repertoire, you're going to see a lot of tactics and themes again and again, like that f5 move, and you will just get better at playing those positions, and you'll get a lot of just knockouts, knockouts, and you'll become more comfortable with, say, a move like queen e1. Okay, I've been at this 2 hours. I'm going to get a quick break for myself, and I'll be right back. ChessDojo Training Program was built around 3 principles. The first is that to improve at anything, you need a structure and a plan to follow, something you can trust. And so at the dojo, we have material, whether you're an absolute beginner or you're a grandmaster, we have the appropriate material to get you to the next level. The second principle is something that also can be used to learn anything, and that's called the principle of plus minus equal, that you need somebody above you, an equal, and somebody below you. And in terms of the dojo, what that means is above you, you will have the senseis and other higher rated players who will give you insight and critique maybe on your games. But at a deeper level, the program itself is the plus that you have to give some measure of authority to follow the program. Your equal is your cohort. These are the people with whom you are going to spar out positions, you're going to discuss books, you're going to play against, you're going to have postmortems. It's a very rich community. And then finally, and this is very important, you need a minus, and this is somebody to whom you can explain your ideas. And only when you can explain your ideas to somebody who doesn't get them yet, have you truly understood those ideas yourself. The third principle is very chess specific, and that is really a Soviet Botvinnik principle, and that you have to go over your games in order to progress. And so at the dojo, we have a games database, and you will be publishing your analysis into that database. Now, the act of publishing, when you're analyzing the game, will have the effect that you know that somebody else, maybe myself, will read your analysis, okay? And so you will try harder to be clearer about what you are thinking about, to be clear in your analysis. And that process of becoming clearer will help your thoughts get clearer too. And one of the great successes of the dojo is just throughout the years we've been doing this, we have a great collection of games annotated by a variety, all the levels of player out there. And so you can, before you even do the annotations yourself, you can see what a good annotation looks like at your level. So those are the three principles of the dojo. And finally, one of the beautiful things about the dojo is it really is a community, and it exists on the Discord, where you can ask questions either to ourselves or to the community, to your cohort, right? And then also we have a news feed where you can follow players and give them encouragement, questions, all that kind of thing as well. So 3 principles plus a community is the basis of the dojo and of chess improvement. The ChessDojo Training Program was built around 3 principles. The first is that to improve at anything, you need a structure and a plan to follow, something you can trust. And so at the dojo, we have material, whether you're an absolute beginner or you're a grandmaster, we have the appropriate material to get you to the next level. The second principle is something that also can be used to learn anything, and that's called the principle of plus minus equal, that you need somebody above you, an equal, and somebody below you. And in terms of the dojo, what that means is above you, you will have the senseis and other higher rated players who will give you insight and critique maybe on your games. But at a deeper level, the program itself is the plus that you have to give some. Alexandra Chess, thank you for rating. This is the ChessDojo Training Program. This is the graduate show. These are people who have graduated from one cohort to the next. And it's been a long show already, but we have several graduations, people who have done the work and have gone up. Next up, we have Stefan. I like that profile pic. I need something like that. Make me look a little bit more serious. Okay, tactics rating, not complete. So hopefully Stefan will get on that. Just joined though. Stefan just joined the dojo. Probably this has just bumped himself up. Chess in Wales. Okay, maybe part of the White Knights team. Could be. Activity, a little bit. Games. Okay, we do have a game. Let's check it out. Long prompted by the dojo recommendations. Been in a slump. Great. So look, you join the dojo, and here's what we get. We get like a first longer game. We encourage you to do something real. And let's just say something. When you play a longer game against a rando person online, they're not going to think. They're not going to think. So that's what we're seeing here from your opponent. Fine so far. Little weird, but okay. Okay. Now you should definitely think about bishop c3, though. 94, oh my gosh, it's hard to say that's a bad move. Bishop b2, and now you're smoking them. Bang! Yes, sir. Bang! Oh, welcome to the dojo, my friend. Bang! Oh, you're just killing this fool. So, this is where I went wrong. I should have just retreated to b4 and then d6 and inevitable c3. Instead, I get too cute. Now, by the way, castles can't be wrong. But here, are you getting too cute? Yes, you are now getting too cute. Oh, Stefan, what have you done? So, we'll say, look, I want you to see, too, that you moved really quickly here. Your opponent, by the way, look at this. No thoughts at all. No thoughts at all. And by the way, it's a little bit like when you play these online games, it can be rough because they're going to move so fast and it's going to be difficult to not do what they do, right? So bishop b2, rook b1, and now you say bishop a3 is a terrible move. The engine has a way out of this. Okay, now let's see actually how long you thought. Boom, not so long. So notice that one thing to realize is, I'm sure this was like a cold shower, this rook b1. It's happened to everybody, right? Because you see bishop a3 and b4. Or maybe you didn't see it. Maybe, this was the moment to be like, okay, I was winning before and now I might have to think about stuff. And when you realize the calamity that has befallen you, that's when you might find this move, e5. Okay. We're doing a lot of tactics puzzles, puzzle creation. And, if I gave you this as a puzzle, like black to play, I'm sure you would find it. Right? I'm sure you would. Okay. But when you're moving so fast, things can go wrong. So bishop b4, I wonder if you have a better move than this. Okay, anyways, you're up a pawn. Okay. A little frisky, but okay. Okay. Good move. h4 is weird. Very weird. And now you're down a pawn. I mean, you're up a pawn. You're still doing great. Better king position. You fixed your knight. I like it. Good move. A little weird. Okay. I'm okay with that. A little weird. I would prefer queen e7, but okay. Yep. Bang! Is white thinking? Not really. In fact, I think the little time they did think, they were on the potty or something. They weren't thinking at all. Now queen f6. Now, for my money, as they say, I would like you to just exchange queens, and then the knight can rotate out of here, talk to the coconut. This is out of play. Okay. A little weird. You're just taking all their stuff they're giving you for free. Mate! That's what they get for not thinking. Maybe you could have told them after the game, you're like, Baus, this game was invented for people who kind of enjoyed thinking. What's going on with you? What's going on with you? Okay. Who is stronger, Fabi or Nakamura? From a talent perspective, it's Fabi, but it's Naka, but Fabi has worked harder. And that's the bummer of life. When you don't work at it, you don't get it. 15-15, coming up gidged here. Tactics rating, 999. Now, one of this is really cool. We're now moving past 1500. And that means that this person now has tests available. So the way this works is that you have 4 components to your tactics rating, and this person will not have their points detracted from their test because they haven't done it yet. So this 999 is just an average of all of these ratings. Let's go check real quick. Let's see what's going on from Aus Deutschland. Puzzle Rush, they've done it 58 times, 30 and 42. So let me just double check my little chart here. So 30 should give you a Puzzle Rush score of 1,500, but he doesn't have that. And I think this has something to do with something that's very important for us to figure out. Like somehow, I don't know. He didn't register it, or I don't know. I got to talk to our tech guys, but this is a real problem because it should say 1,500 for this. And for the survival, 42 should give him a score of 1,200. And again, it's not that high. So there's tech issues that I need to talk with Jack about. Okay, clubs. German dojo. Okay, activity. Looking good. This is, yeah, a bunch of cohorts, but it looks like they just graduated this one time. And let's see if we got a game. No games. Okay, well, get that. Maybe you could submit we're going to figure out with the tactics, but the obvious thing to say is it would be great if you did some game analysis. Okay, now, I got to say I'm a little thankful because, geez, this is a long show. I'm running out of gas. I'm running out of gas, man. Iggy Toff says, the Dojo Classical Tournament is great. By the way, here it is at the top, tournaments. First time I made it happen to play classical games online, and given that it's games with other dojo players, you always get the post-mortem afterwards. Nice. Shout out to Candide, who commented on my most recent game with very helpful comments. Thank you very much. Cool. So, open, boom, Iggy Toff, 1569, very nice. Tactics score. Oh, look, he's done a test. He's done a test. Nice. This is the first time of my first graduation show where I get to see somebody who's got a test score. Super cool. And let's just stalk Iggy Toff for half a second here. So we go Puzzle Rush, and I'm just trying to solve this technical problem. They got 44, so that should give them a score of about 1250. And I think that's kind of what they had there, right? Yeah, about 1250, right? So at least that one was right. And then their 5-minute was 34, and that should give them 1,700. Boss, that should give it, so this is all wrong. Oh no, something is wrong. I got to talk to the tech people. Okay, good. Okay. Nice to see ratings aligned here with the German and the ChessCom. Okay, activity, looking good, very good. Games, and here we got Iggy Toff. Boom. So, these are Candide's notes that he's talking about. This is a very popular system these days. A little weird, but okay. And this was all expected somehow. It was all expected. Queen e3, Queen e5, Queen c7. Okay, so you have a better endgame. c4, nice move, dominating the knight. You have other moves, but that one's nice. So you have a nice endgame. Castles. Bishop e2. Now here's where we need to think about things a little bit. My instinct for you here, I'm not sure about it yet, is, well, first, knight g5 is a thought. There's a problem, though, with knight g5, and that actually, when we take it, the dude gets his knight there, and then it talks to us here. The problem with castles long is we have to worry about bishop g4. Okay, let's see how this goes. Bishop e2, f6. Probably a reasonable move. And then this move I don't like. So the last two moves set yourself up to put your king in a position where it's not doing anything. So this is the hard moment. We think about good endgame play. And this is what we could call a strategic endgame. This is where the butter is made? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know if that's where the butter is made, but you know, this is where things are done, things happen. And personally, I guess I'm in favor of this. And then, so bishop g4, we have knight e5. f6 is not a bad move because it takes away these squares from our knight. But then we say pop, and we say we are in control. The knight is terrible, the bishop is terrible. And the way to think about these positions is just focus on good pieces and bad pieces, right? And when you put your king over there on g1, it ain't it, right? So, rook a d1. And now we really would like you to play d4, but it might not be so easy anymore. And now you're kind of getting the business handed to you. Okay. Rook d3. Knight e6. Also, we got to say black is already better after knight e6. Probably better after this move too. Please play king f1. Oh. Oh, cry, don't make that sighing sound. Come on, it makes it sound so terrible. Okay. So we're in trouble here. And rook e1. Knight d4. We might be close to lost here. Yeah, it looks terrible. Thank you very much. Now, we should say it's not, I should correct myself. On a practical level, you still have reasonable chances here. Rook e3 is a blunder. You need to play king e2. So one thing I want you to see, this is something, a real takeaway. Dude, you killed your king. You undeveloped your king, and now you got to redevelop him. Next point. These people aren't thinking. These people aren't thinking. And I want to say, think about it. I was thinking more than you guys were. There's some complicated stuff going on, you know, and this is all drift. This is like strategic drift that was happening over here. Okay, I'm going to mark this as viewed. Again, it's about slowing down. You'll get there, Igitov, but like this kind of thing is where the butter is made, or I don't know how you say it. And now he's just taking all your coconuts. Yeah. Okay. The thing I want you to see, actually, is you got out of the opening with a clear advantage. Okay, great. You're up time. The knight's on c7's funky, yada, yada. You're doing great. Right? But here you drifted into a worse position, really losing time again and again. All right? Okay, that was Igitov. Boom. And next up we have Takari. Takari writes me a letter and says, program. I found the program pairs really well with coaching. I'm fortunate to have two coaches I work with. Andras Toth, okay, friend of the dojo, and Nigel Davies. They assign me homework occasionally, but most of my individual study comes from program materials. That's where the dojo shines, helping separate the wheat from the chaff. I particularly appreciate the endgame sparring positions. Looking forward to 3.0. Ratings. Ratings are weird. Yeah. Recently, I received my first FIDE rating, which is much higher than I expected. This is the FIDE boost, which we've been ignoring, dojo. We've been ignoring. much higher than expected. At the same time, my USCF rating went down as a result of a not-so-great tournament. So I wasn't sure if I should graduate at all. In the end, since I did have the rating, felt confident facing 1,800 plus players and had good results against them, I decided made sense to graduate one rung for now. Goals, milestones. Beat a title player for the first time. Won my section in my first tournament back. Earned my first FIDE rating. Hit a personal record unbeaten streak of 22 games. Nice. New goals. Finished the major books of the cohort. We changed all the books on you, bows, a little bit. Rake 1600 USCF, rake 1900 FIDE. Game to review. I'd appreciate it if Jesse could review my game against an FM in the Reykjavik Open. Okay, so I think I can, I think I'm going to find it. So let's go over here. Totally cool that you have Andres Toth as a coach. And let's just see. We got the tactics rating thing. Hasn't done the test yet, but this is looking good. Needs to up it on the Polgar mates. Okay, so clubs, nice. Activity, looking very strong. And let's see if I can find the game from the Reykjavik Open. Review me. Well, there it is. I found it. 4th round Reykjavik Open. I need to go play Reykjavik Open someday. That's on my to-do list or hot list or whatever you want to call it. Vig Sama, thank you for subscribing. Okay, so here we go. So far, so good. G3 is a little weird here. Fine. So, this is somebody who is influenced by the computer and modern theory, i.e., the belief that the bishop is very important. He is going to take, though, your bad bishop. Now, something I want to say about this is it feels like we are inducing a weakness with f3. And I'm not saying it's a bad move to play bishop b4, but I just want you to be wary that the pawn on f3 will dominate your knight. Okay. Bishop g6, queen b3. And now you play queen b6, which I'm going to say I'm leery of. Now that the knight can't pop you with e5 anymore, it seems natural to me to put the queen on d7. On queen b6, I'm just worried about having a worse ending. And that's or a worse position. And that's kind of what happens here because they find c5 and they get a spanker of a tempo here. And we get this position. Still interesting for you, and white has their own issues. Now, from white's perspective, it's all about trying to make this thing into a hero. Can we make that thing into a hero? That's his question. Can I fix this knight? Let's see what they try. e4 right away. Maybe a little premature. Castles looks more circumspect because it's going to be hard for you to decide what to do next. This, however, gives you the opportunity to go bang. Last book move. Oh my gosh. So Kraai was talking all this smack. But apparently this is all a known thing, dude. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, you're doing fine now. They give you their bishop. You got to say thank you for that. You play here. Now you're doing great. That can't be it. Now you get this monster knight. Castles. And then you're just like, I'll take the free pawn, sure. So now you're just winning outright. And it happens so fast, right? I totally agree. e6 earlier would have been at least a try for white. Looks superficial. Superficial. Thank you. And now, is there a reason we don't take on h2? While h2 was hanging, I felt it was more important to prioritize king's safety. Okay. One thing we should say is, not only, back in the day we would say about this position that you have the pawns and the compensation, right? Because you got it all. The knight on e5 is such a beautiful blockader of that weak e4 pawn. I definitely want you to take on h2. Like, yeah, pronto. Pronto. And maybe the only thing tactically, no, just we're taking it on h2, boss. Look, this thing is a beast over here. What is he even doing? It'd be good to try to tell us what you were worried about, actually. So on rook h1, which would be the only thing I would want to calculate, I think you take it, first of all. But even if you couldn't, you could take, and then when they take that way, then we castle long. So this, oh no, that wasn't good. Now he fixes his bad piece. Now you're still doing great, but it's no longer as clear. Rook fd8. And bishop h3, they offer a draw. Well, yeah. So a variation I would want would be rook d8, queen a7. I'm sure you had something in store there. And now rook d7. That is a nice move. Boom. That's, yeah, simple and strong. Now you say you're winning. Well, maybe, I'm going to submit that queen h2 is also winning. A little bit messier. Good move. Okay. Simple chess. Thank you very much. Oh, you really are wasting this poor fool. Rook d1. Now, you play rook d1. Queen a4 looks really strong. All right, queen a4, b3, queen e4. Oh, what a mess. And then you take on d1, check on h1, pick up the pawn on h2. Okay, but this is probably winning too. Well, it's the same thing, Kraai. It's the same thing, buddy. The pendulum swings around. Yeah, okay. And now we just need to deny counterplay. Probably okay. Hard to argue with. Don't know what they're doing. Check. Oh, just more. Give me more. Oh, well done. And so here's the tale, I think, of why that FIDE rating. It's not only the boost, but, shot up from winning this game. And a very commanding game, too. I talk a lot of smack about opening theory, but this one, in fact, apparently was all opening theory. To my eyes here, I did not like the look of it. Okay? Just this whole thing where we played queen b6. I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, here, I don't know. And I would still want to be white here. Though what is true is that e4, that Takari took advantage of it really well. And apparently it was all somehow known to him. So that's kind of cool. Okay, Reykjavik Open. Oh, that's great. I want to play Reykjavik Open. All right, let's go back. Uh-oh, I made a mild inaccuracy here. Let's go here, 5-1. Okay, next up. Oh, man, this is a long. Igitov, Takari. Now we have just two people left. C. DeVille and X. Barra. C. DeVille, I don't know what's going on with C. DeVille. Let's just check this out. So 1871, And they joined last year. Tactics rating, haven't done anything. Okay. Activity. So it's a little bit unclear. We're going to see something here. We do have one game. So, not really. This is a computer evaluation. So I don't know what's going on with this player. A little bit hard to say, right? Because they're putting in their time and stuff, but they're not annotating. So yeah, unclear. All right, let's go back. Next up, we have Xbera with a big graduation. Look at that, 144 points. That's what it takes. When I joined the dojo, I decided to start on a cohort under my rating to fill the gaps in my chess understanding. After the FIDE boost, I went from 1920 to 1954, but I wasn't ready to graduate. But now, after soon 200H training, I graduate to 19 to 2000. Not sure what that means. When I now analyze my last OTB games before I joined the dojo, I see that I have learned much since I've started the program. The program made me study things I didn't have time to study before, and that's so great. I learned to take time to analyze my games, and I need to be better to take more time to analyze them. To have someone to spar with, mid, end, or opening have helped me much to understand chess and how other thinks in a position. Okay, great. So this is Xbera. First, let's cruise it. A wife and 2 kids. Oh man, this is hard. Okay, let's go down here. Tactics ready. They did a test. I'm so pumped they did the test. Maybe we're going to check in on the test in just a second here. So, yeah, actually, I'll do a quick check-in on the tests after this profile. Puzzle Rush Survival hasn't done any Polgar mates. But you can see it's really cool is that rating, 1945 tactics rating, conforms really closely with this rating he has over here. And that's the dream, is that in general, your tactics rating, once you've done the test and everything else, should conform roughly to where you are. There will be some people who will be tactically stronger, some who are weaker, but, in general, they should track with where they are. Okay, clubs, European, okay, activity, loads of work, really inspirational, began at the end of last year. Super cool. Let's see. And we got loads of games. And I remember when I was looking through for the cohort games that I saw several games by this player. All right, Dojo Classical Open. Here we go. So far, so good. I've had this numerous times as black. Okay, Bishop B7. Usually C6 is the move, but I'm sure Bishop B7 is playable. Right, Bishop C3, we're going to call that the old way of playing the position. C5, a little frisky. Okay, so now he thinks for 20 minutes. By the way, this is really cool. So let's mark this before I forget. And this is what you see, my friends. When we get a stronger opponents, they think. And if anything, black might be guilty of playing a little too slow. And let me just say, one of the interesting things that I've definitely observed in my time doing this graduate show is at the cohorts like leading up to, say, 1800, it's often the case that people are moving too fast. After that, it's more of a case of, hey, you might be moving a little bit too slow, right? Okay, so this is a very interesting position. And in general, I don't want to take on D7. You talk about Queen C2. I totally agree. That's the first move to come to mind. And then you say queen c2, snip, snop, knight d7, didn't know what white to do here. Right, it's complicated, but we should believe in this position because, first of all, I'm up 2 tempi. You are up 2 tempi, right? And you just dislodged the knight to d7. So even if we're not entirely certain what to do, we should still believe in your position here. Yeah. Okay, so knight d7. Now I'm going to say they're probably equal. That's the ambitious way. Well, I guess they're going to take that way anyway. Okay, hanging pawns. Okay, here we go. The hanging pawn's an interesting little beast. In general, I think it's a very scary business. Rook c1, and then unless this has a tactical point, this d4 move, it's a mistake. He thought for 25 minutes. Well, there would need to be something wrong with rook c8. So one thing Nimzovich says, by the way, I did a book review, or I talked about the books we added to the program, and I was it's so amazing. I just began talking about how divisive chess books can be, and I said, that we had to take out. We didn't even at the beginning, Dojo 1.0, we never had Nimzovich because people get so freaked out by Nimzovich because, he's got an older way of talking. Anyways, Nimzovich talks about positions like this really clearly, and we don't want to move the pawns because they produce weaknesses. In this case, when black plays d4, it's, again, if there's a tactical reason this works, then I'm willing to hear it, but if there's no tactic behind it, then it's a really bad move because these squares are opened up, and this knight is white's worst piece. So rook c8, unless there's some tactic that white has, and I don't see it, black should be a little bit better here. Here, they should probably be worse after d4. So, bishop b2, knight e5. Just want to check something. So I just want to check. I'm pretty sure that if we go here, 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 we are in trouble, right? We have grief. Okay. Seems right to me. There's an interesting argument to be made that this position is quite nice for white. So here and here. That's a debate, though. That's a debate. But that's the variation that I would want to look at if I was white, because I want to, you're doing fine here as white, so nothing to complain about. So knight d5, and now you play knight e4. Okay, knight c4 is definitely the more natural move. And we don't want to play knight e4 unless you're really going to crack him. So, one thing you need to be ultra sensitive to is that you have now one bad piece, the bishop on b2, and you want him to do something. So, one cool idea with knight c4 is you mentioned e4, maybe even e3 at some point. And the idea is not just to mess with the black pawns and the tactics, but to free this coconut over here. Good annotation. Also a little weird. Notice, mistakes come in pairs, and now you're drifting a little bit. f5, I don't know. I don't know if that's it, buddy. I don't know. Yeah, this doesn't look right. This looks a little barbaric. Now, are you in a bad position? I don't know. This is very frisky what they're doing. I'm not seeing it yet. Knight f3 makes some sense. Again, you need to be sensitive to this coconut. That's weird. Okay, so now you're just losing time. I understand why you did it. No one wants it, but I understand. Now, if it works, it works. Desperate attack. Time was going down now, and I missed the easy rook d7. I'm not sure you should feel terrible about this. Hold up. Hold up. So, rook c5, bishop takes, and now rook c8 is played. I would want to talk about knight e3. What is happening on knight e3? Rook c8. You find queen e4. Your opponent might have missed it. Plays knight c3. Wow. You say this try was better. Now, one thing I want you to just ponder here is this is a very interesting position to think about / analyze. Like, who's better here? There's strong arguments to be made that you're better here. Now, it'll come down ultimately to analyzing the game, but the argument is like, your king is amazing, friend. You know, your king's amazing and his is not, right? And your knight is amazing. Now, we still have to analyze, like rook c2, what's going to happen? So, I don't know if bishop d4 was a mistake. Because honestly, think about it this way. You've just blundered a lot of time. And if you do not do something here, it's not the dumbest thing to expect that you're worse in this position. Now, another move that we should also, by the way, whenever you don't like a move, you should say what you should have done. The other move that has a similar thing that's kind of what you were on about is b4. That makes a lot of sense here too. Okay, so we're going to get this amazing position. Bishop h3. And he's threatening knight e2 mate. You could maybe write that you missed that. It's getting spicy. Now you played rook e1, which makes no sense to me. Excuse me, it does make sense to me. He's threatening knight e4. Now, let me just say, this is a dangerous move from black because ideally he doesn't want to trade his coconut. So I get it, you're in time pressure and stuff, but I just want to mention, like, this would be a little bit more challenging for him to face. Let's imagine FG, HG, and he has to ask himself a question, do I want to play knight e4 or knight a4? If he doesn't, we're playing b4, right? So let's just put it on the board for a second. Knight e4, snip, snop, b4, and this one isn't going to be a simple pimple. Now, it is to black's great benefit that they have the potential to create an outside passer here. But the knight is a chump piece when it comes to pass pawns running. So, this is a great game, and I think something I want to encourage you to do is that here, there was a lot more to analyze here. And this is where you will get better at the endings. But a very enjoyable game. Yeah, so that was really good. And just so happy that you're in the program and doing well. And I want to stress, like, one thing that's a little bit dumb about the way I'm doing these graduate programs is, like, people at the top are putting in so much work, and, like, every graduation is a cool graduation, but hey, the people at the top, I mean, that's a lot of work. Whereas to graduate, at a lower level, it's still great and everything, but it's just simply not even close as much work. Yes, so congratulations. And now to finish this off real quick, I want to go look at the material, and we'll go tactics tests. And here we go. So this is cool. This gives you the ratings, and I haven't done the second test yet, but now what this means is at least 10 people have taken the second test. And so we're getting an average rating there, and we're getting an average score, Here I'm allowed to click on this thing, and we can see the graph here. Look at that bad boy. A lot of people have taken this test now. And you can see that it's mostly lining up with the ratings, right? There's definitely some divergence. We got some players in the 13-14 cohort who, or 14-15, that have scored very high. And the hope would be that when they do 3 tests and we average those, that would be a good reflection of their tactics skill. And Blibub, you're welcome to take a test that is above your level. That's okay. It's not a requirement for you to do. And by the end of this month, we should have the other tests. That would be the 1,000, 1,500 tests and the 0 to 1,000 tests. All right, my friends, that was an epic grad show. Gosh, the yesterday's was like 2 hours. Here's was 3 hours. Anyways, I had a good time with it. We're going to raid somebody. Who's it going to be? Let's raid somebody we don't know. That's always a mistake, isn't it, though? Let's try Martin ChessDojo. Thank you, Blibba. By the way, there is this Reddit thread that's like, hey, it's saying, hey, you should, what should I do with the ChessDojo Training Program? Is it something I should be doing? What's going on? So this is what I want you to do. I want you to go into this thing and, where did I put that? Where did I put that silly little link? And to say, hey, ChessDojo Training Program, that's the one. Or just write if you want to write something critical, that's fine. But here we go. Actually, before I raid, I'm going to post this. Bang! Check out that link. And now I'm going to raid the great Martin Chess Station. I have no idea who they are.